Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. If you recall, I did a video a while back about alcohol. Well, a couple of videos actually, back in January, how there were reports about alcohol and the virus, about how the barriers were being put up in supermarkets for reasons which didn't really make a lot of sense, as if it was an excuse for something they had planned down the line. Here's the video I made in January. Is an alcohol prohibition on the way, I said. It's still on YouTube. Anyway, here we have in Australia, which has become a prison created by a governmental and mainstream media agenda of intimidation and fear projection. Well, we see here, this is the story. NSW Health limits residents of locked down tower block to 6 beers per day. Residents in a Sydney tower block under a strict coronavirus lockdown are having their alcohol deliveries policed. In apartment blocks locked down by NSW Health, residents are having their alcohol deliveries policed in accordance with the department's policy, which allows residents to receive a ration of only 6 beers or pre-mixed drinks, 1 bottle of wine, or 1 375 milliliter bottle of spirits, according to news.com.au. Any alcohol outside the limit is being confiscated until lockdown rules are lifted, according to the report. Here's a clip.
On this other story, we're hearing that some residents in apartment blocks with COVID are now having their alcohol deliveries policed. What can you tell us about that?
That's right, Laura. These are social housing apartment blocks that are right now locked down by New South Wales Health. They are having their alcohol deliveries policed in an attempt to limit the amount of drinks being consumed. So Mission Australia's Common Ground building in Camperdown is the latest building to be affected by these rules. That's what occupants there have to go through. Residents say that they're feeling frustrated that some of the deliveries that they've had dropped off from their families and their friends is being searched before it's getting through to them. So at the moment, the rules there, they can have 6 beers or pre-mixed drinks, they can have 1 bottle of wine or 1 375ml bottle of spirits. So those are the rules that will stay in place until the lockdown there is over, and at the moment the excess alcohol is being confiscated, Laura.
So, like I've said before many times now, the more you comply, the more these psychos will introduce more and more restrictions. The more you give away, the more they're going to take. Now, the people in these tower blocks, it says here in the report, it says, State Health Department's special accommodations where COVID positive patients and close contacts are sent for isolation. So these people have complied. They have played the game. They have done a test when they were asked, or they downloaded the app and were told they were a close contact. They were pinged. And now, if this story is to be believed, there are people now going through their groceries every day and taking out alcohol that goes above their set limit that they allow them to have. At Mission Australia's Common Ground building, residents have said care packages sent by friends and relatives are being searched before they are delivered. They are searching all bags and things coming into the building. They confiscated a series of gifts. So things like bottles of spirits, we weren't allowed to have those, and we still aren't. One resident told the outlet, it says here. So, this again is against law. This is against your human rights. And yet it says here, a Sydney local health district spokeswoman confirmed the limits are in place in NSW Health special health accommodation, but it is unclear what powers NSW Health has to limit the delivery of alcohol to people isolating in their own homes. Public health orders do not mention alcohol limits. So again, these authorities are attempting to muddy the waters, creating grey areas, not properly informing people of their rights and exploiting the situations they put them in. And those who are stupid enough to go along with it, who allow themselves to be put up with this crap. Again, you're only in this position because at some point you agreed, you complied, You accepted to play their game. You invited the vampire into your home. You downloaded the app. You allowed fear projected onto you to control your mind. And now you're locked away in a tower block with people going through your groceries and taking alcohol away. And there is not even an explanation of why they are doing this. The only explanation I can think of is that they believe if you drink too much, maybe you will start breaking their rules or whatever. I don't know. This story also acts as another fear propaganda piece in order for the Australian government to scare people into doing what they want. Listen to this psycho clown, Daniel Andrews, yesterday.
Wouldn't it be better if we'd all been vaccinated 80% double dose back in March? There'd be no lockdown now, there'd be no businesses failing, we'd be back to normal. In fact, if we'd got vaccinated sooner, then we would have been able to take advantage of the fact that we would literally have been the safest place in the world.
Now, I saw this clip on fake stream media Sky Australia earlier, and the response from one of their reporters who pretend to be on the public side is that no country in the world was 80% jabbed back in March. But, of course, they fail to bring up the issue of, say, Israel, who have the highest jab numbers in the world and yet are now, as their ministers and scientists are claiming, are in a mess with the numbers going up and at the same time telling everyone to get a third booster. Check out Italy for something similar. No, they don't bring that up. So once again, I can't reiterate it enough. The more you comply, the more restrictions you will get. It's like getting caught in a spider's web. The more you struggle, the more stuck you're going to get. Best to avoid stepping into the spider's web in the first place and remaining free. I suppose you can reference that to the World Wide Web of the internet as well, and how everyone is addicted to their smartphones and the internet, and how these smartphones and their interconnectivity and the apps are what led to many of these people being stuck in a tower block because they got pinged. Yeah, the spider's web is a trap and is notoriously difficult to get away from once you enter into it. In some symbology, the spider represents the devil, and the devil prepares its trap, just as the spider prepares its web. And also the spider is represented as a miser who bleeds the poor people dry, just as the spider itself bleeds its victims. So it's best to look out for those spider webs and not get caught in them. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls who don't follow the herd, don't follow the fake stream media, and don't get caught in the tales that they spin.